So I remember it was probably about 2 months ago. We're entering August now, so it's going to be 3 months ago, like a week or two before my birthday. And I always have this feeling around my birthday, this reflective kind of mood where I'm just thinking back on my life and I'm like, man, where am I happy with where I'm at in life? What do I need to change, etc. Like the birthday becomes a milestone. And a few months ago, like it's before my 24th birthday, I just started thinking, I was like, man, I'm gonna be 24 now. And depending on how old you are, you react to that differently. But if you're around my age, you'll understand, right? That this thing of like, I've been young my whole life, and now I'm getting to the point where I should be a full fledged adult. Like, I am a full fledged adult. And you start thinking about, man, I'm like a quarter of the way through life if I live to 100, a third if I live to 75, right? And I wouldn't say I was having a quarter life crisis, but I was really like just feeling down about where I'm at in life. And the thing that made it bad wasn't just because, oh, I'm 24 and maybe some things aren't exactly the way I wish they would be. It was more, I spent so much time in my youth. I am still in my youth, but you get what I mean. I spent so much time in like my teenage years thinking about the kind of man I wanted to be when I'm in my 20s. If you're like me, you would have grown up watching, I say grown up watching, they've only been around for like 5 to 10 years, but watching like Yuri Mangadzi, Hamza, Chris Williamson, all these self improvement people, right? And I mean, Chris Williamson aside, you look at like Hamza, Iman Gadzi, even like I had this rapper called Dave that I like looked up to in terms of like like he just motivated me, right? Like to be better. And you look at athletes and all this stuff, right? They're all like young people killing it in life. And when you're watching that at the age of 16, 17, 18, 24, 25 is like 6, 7 years away. And it's like, man, if I lock in for the next decade, I'm gonna be somewhere incredible in my 20s. Like, no one is ever sitting there at 18 being like, man, okay, I wanna have a 20-year plan so I can be exactly where I wanna be at 38. It's always, no, in my 20s. And I guess for me, the moment to kind of come full circle, if I can say, I looked around and I'm like, to my shame, I am the man I was kind of terrified of being my whole life. Um, yeah, and then it really hit me because this version of myself I kept postponing. Like, I finally got to a place where I'm like, oh, I've postponed so much, I've gotten to a place where I dreaded being. And it's not anything crazy, like, it's not like my life was falling apart or anything. Just kind of, I had bigger dreams for myself, like where I wanted to be in life. And yeah, I mean, you have those big dreams like, oh, I want to go be a professional footballer, I want to go be rich or whatever. But like if you're 24 and you're not like rich, it's not like the end of the world, right? Like, as long as you're like working towards that. But there's certain things, man, like being in shape, for example, you know, the general things where you just like be in shape, be kind of building towards something so you can actually be financially free, have a good social life, etc. Like, just have a good life. I'm like, man, I have none of those things. If 18-year-old Gideon could see me now, he'd be thoroughly disappointed because life is just kind of stagnated, if I can say that. And for me, I had periods where I was really locked in with self improvement and I transformed myself quite a bit. And then I've kind of just slipped back. And I guess my biggest regret around that is not building enough escape velocity. So, for example, gym. I spent like a solid 2 years. Like, I did a cut and then did like a bulk and another cut, and I got into really good shape. And I still reap the rewards for it. I just need to drop my weight. But I wish I could have like built escape velocity in that aspect would have been getting in such good shape that like you're not really gonna get out of shape. You can if you eat like crap all the time, but like again, if you build enough muscle and build a good enough frame and everything, it's just kind of maintaining. That was always the plan, but I didn't build that escape velocity. Like, I feel like I could still do like two or three more bulks, bulks and cut cycles. But finances as well is a big one, right? Because it's so easy to look back and be like, okay, I am kind of just having a regular job, and that was my biggest fear when I was like 18. because I was like, man, I have this dream that I want to live a free life. I don't want to be like locked in like a 9 to 5 job or whatever. And I find myself at this age locked in a 9 to 5 job, and it's more difficult to get out than it was, when you were still in university and you could use a lot of your time. And I still try and kind of retrospectively or prospectively apply it to say it is still as easy as it's going to be. Like, it's only going to get harder as more and more responsibilities in life pile up. But for me, it was just kind of, you had that period where you were locked in. You really could have just like gone all the way to get yourself enough freedom to actually start living the life you wanted to live. And I don't know what your story is like, but I'm guessing you clicked on this video for a reason, and maybe for you it is a similar pain, or it's a pain that's maybe not exactly the same, but it's kind of adjacent to that.